When practitioners encounter negative forces, two models prevail. The left is the warrior paradigm, an active battle to destroy darkness. This combat generates erratic energy and shadow karma. On the right is spiritual bypassing, a passive stance offering no resistance, absorbing the impact of harmful behavior. Bypassing functions as an invitation to exploitation. By refusing to enforce boundaries, the practitioner leaves their energetic field accessible for entities to manipulate and use as a resource. Both models address surface symptoms, but leave the underlying mechanics of negative polarity unaddressed. They rely on an interpretation of darkness overlooking its systemic role in the evolution of consciousness. There is a precise, mechanical third alternative. We call it the Photon Principle. The thesis is that light does not exist to fight darkness, but to serve the evolution of darkness. In this framework, illumination is not coercion. You are not trying to convert negative entities. Illumination is simply a passive, radiant presence. Unlike the warfare model, untainted light acts as an objective mirror. It reflects reality back to the observer without distortion or judgment. Unlike bypassing, this mirror is uncompromising. It reveals distortion and enforces reality, providing friction for growth without requiring the practitioner to engage in combat. The operational mandate here is narrow. The practitioner has one job: maintain their own frequency. It does not matter who receives the light. Approaching spiritual interaction through light shifts the focus from moral combat to a consistent mechanical function. To see why this works, we look at the law of one density framework. This cosmology rests on a specific axiom: the Creator desired complete self-knowledge. To achieve this, consciousness split into two diverging paths of exploration, moving upward from the third density. The positive track explores reality through service to others. It is the pursuit of unity through love and service. The negative track explores service to self, navigating fourth density power structures to reach fifth density, perfected selfishness. But then they hit a structural bottleneck, the 6D wall. At the sixth density, progress requires unity consciousness, the recognition of the self in the other. But the negative path is built on the axiom of total separation. These two values cancel each other out. You cannot enter a state defined by unity while maintaining a state defined by its opposite. A 5D negative entity faces three choices: stagnate at 5D indefinitely, dissolve and restart the journey, or integrate positive polarity. Because evolution past this point is only possible through the integration of the other, the negative path eventually requires contact with positive polarity. This makes external light the necessary catalyst for any further progression. This brings us to the mechanism of how light serves darkness, starting with the mirror problem. As you can see in this optical diagram, negative polarity operates in a closed loop. It is an echo chamber reflecting only its own self-justification. Accurate self-reflection is impossible for a service-to-self entity. Empathy would dismantle their paradigm of supremacy. This echo chamber breaks only via an external reference point. An untainted positive consciousness acts as a smooth mirror, bouncing the projection back into the loop. This is the illumination function. The mirror displays the distortion, the cost of separation, and the true nature of reality. It does this without delivering judgment or claiming moral superiority. The exact same radiant presence is experienced differently depending on the receiver. Positive-oriented beings receive this light as medicine. They find inspiration, healing, and harmony in the reflection. Negative-oriented beings experience that identical light as exposure. To them, it feels like a threat to their power structure and a direct challenge to their authority. The light's frequency never changes. Only the internal orientation of the receiver dictates the reaction. When darkness attacks or rejects the light, it is not an attack on the practitioner. It is the darkness reacting to seeing its own distortion clearly for the first time.
To function as this mirror, a practitioner must maintain what the texts call untainted radiance. Looking at this cross-section of a positive node, untainted means the practitioner is integrated and sovereign. These indentations on the surface represent unintegrated shadow, unresolved fears, desires, and guilt. Negative manipulation operates by finding and exploiting these specific weaknesses. If you carry unintegrated shadow, negative vectors will find those indentations, latch in like hooks, and pull your structure out of alignment. Clearing the glass requires consistent internal inventory. By acknowledging your own darkness, you fill in those gaps from the inside out, creating a uniform, sleek surface. A fully integrated consciousness repels manipulation natively. Without any unintegrated weaknesses to exploit, negative inputs find no purchase and slide off the surface. Contrast this with fear-based protection methods, like throwing up energetic shields or casting spells. Those actions operate on the frequency of fear, which creates new points of vulnerability for entities to grab onto. Sophisticated negative entities understand these mechanics. They will actively avoid an untainted consciousness, recognizing that a smooth surface provides no energetic feed. Shadow work functions as the structural integrity of the mirror. You cannot reflect light clearly if your own glass is obscured. Ancient esoteric traditions resolve the tension of boundary setting through the two faces of divine love. This diagram plots them out. On the left, we have the gentle face, known as mercy. On the right, the fierce face, known as severity. Mercy provides unconditional acceptance, nurturing support, and patient allowing. Severity provides clear truth-telling and strict, unyielding boundary enforcement. Applying either of these expressions in isolation causes structural failure. Mercy alone devolves into enabling, providing no catalyst for growth. Severity alone devolves into cruelty, stripping away all compassion. The synthesis of the two is fierce compassion. It is the capacity to show hard truths out of love for the consciousness you are interacting with. In a real-world encounter, this means you can physically or energetically stop harmful behavior. You can firmly eject a negative entity from a space and enforce a strict boundary, all without generating hatred. Declining to dance with darkness is not a judgment, but an appropriate frequency response. You can halt a harm while still holding space for that entity's eventual evolution. To fully grasp this system, we look at the macro perspective of Advaita Vedanta. The core concept is tat twam asi, thou art that. As we zoom out, the localized nodes dissolve into a single non-dual recognition. All the mechanics of mirrors and boundaries are training wheels for the truth. There is no actual other to serve. Negative polarity is the creator exploring the extreme limits of separation. Positive polarity is the creator exploring the journey of return to unity. Spiritual conflict is a cosmic game of hide-and-seek. The patience you hold as a mirror is the creator allowing another aspect of the creator to stay hidden a little bit longer. Realizing you are serving another aspect of yourself fundamentally dissolves the savior complex. Desperation is replaced by the recognition that cosmic reunion is inevitable. The daily mandate is simple. Drop the exhaustion of warfare. Step out of the combat arena. Simply maintain your radiance. Release your attachment to outcomes. Do not measure success by how many entities you convert or how quickly they change. A photon does not judge what it illuminates. It does not select worthy destinations or avoid uncomfortable ones. It travels at its nature, remaining exactly what it is. Every point of consciousness eventually evolves. The return to source is secured by the design of the universe itself. Trust the divine timing of the cosmic game. Keep your glass clean, enforce your boundaries with fierce compassion, and be the unchanging light that makes evolution possible.